Hi everyone, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Man Conversations, brought to you by SorbetMANxGQ, and I have the man of soccer. Josta, welcome.
Thanks for having me, bruh.
How are you doing?
I'm easy, man. Feeling fresh. Did my nails. They're all shiny and all of that. My hair feeling fresh. So yeah, I'm all good. Yeah.
So you have played for teams like Sundowns, Wits. I mean, you've played for some big teams. If you were to look at your top 5 career highlights, which ones would those be? I know it's pretty hard, but if you could just single those 5 out, which ones would you say are?
Yeah, I mean, just being part of the history of South African football for me, like, you know, will always be in my heart, you know. I mean, shout outs to Wits. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have known me by today if it wasn't for Wits University. That's where I started as an 18-year-old, and was promoted to the first team, and then 2 years later signed overseas with the team called AGF House. For me, that's the second highlight, just signing overseas, getting a contract at 20.
And overseas?
Overseas in Denmark, and it was crazy. And then coming back home, signing for Sundowns, which is a team that I used to watch, you know, never supported, but used to watch. They used to have like a whole lot of big players like Tumba and all of that. And then moving to Kaizer Chiefs, another big highlight for me. This is a team that I supported. I come from a family where a lot of people supported Pirates, and I was the only one that only one that was supporting Kaizer Chiefs. You know what I mean? Just wearing, like, you know, the national colors as well. Yeah. Getting called up into the national team. I think my first game, I remember we were playing against Costa Rica. For me, that was like, whoa, you know. I used to be in school, like, you know, just looking and watching these guys play, but there was something inside me that told me, like, you know, you got to be in there. Yes. You know, there's some people that used to play in the game and be like, you can do better. Achieving all those things, it was just like my inner soul, or maybe just God saying, you know, there's bigger things coming up in the future. And, like, you know, I think for me, those were the highlights, great highlights that I would ever, like, you know, cherish in my heart.
So just as someone who has played soccer successfully, when you look at the landscape of what South African soccer is right now, how do you feel about that? And I know it's a bit sticky because a lot of legendary people who have been great in soccer don't want to comment, but then for you, how do you see it?
Like, that's a tricky question, bro, because, like, you got to be really careful on how you're going to answer it. There's a lot of people that are coming out and they're saying truthful things. I mean, the game has gotten, like, you know, backwards in terms of growth. And when I was coming up, you could see, like, you know, where South Africa was going. After the World Cup, it took a dip in terms of the talent that's playing in the PSL. It makes sense because, like, you know, most of the people that played before us, they basically never linked up into like the management roles once they left the game. You know what I mean? So a lot of people that are making the decision in the game, most of them, there's nothing wrong with that. Players. They never used to play. They don't understand, like, you know, the background, things that are happening in the game. If you can be, you understand the office stuff, and I understand what happens on the pitch. We can work hand in hand, you know, and we can help each other in the things that I know and the things that you know in the office. You know what I mean? So that's what happens all over the world. Most of the guys that retire, they get back into the teams that they used to play for, and now they give back to the youth that's coming up. Vice versa, in the national team, most of the guys that are running the head of football in most of the countries are the people that used to play the game. So I think if that can change, we can see, like, you know, South Africa going far. A lot of people that are always going to be defensive when there's a lot of criticism coming up. They know they're doing wrong. Most of us that we're criticized, if we didn't play well, we were criticized most of the time. You know, was I going to be sad all day? No. It was painful, but you sit back and be like, okay, hold up, let me look at what these people are saying. Maybe they're telling me the truth. Maybe I should work on my game. And you become a better player by doing so. If you're not willing to listen to anybody, you're not going to learn anything.
So if you look at your career, what's the one game or moment that stands out for you, whether in a good or bad way? Like one game, one thing, like that was either the defining moment in a great way or the defining moment in the opposite direction.
You understand, I play more than 400 games.
Yes, I do.
It's a lot of games.
Yes, I do. Yes,
just coming out to singling out one game. That's a game I played for. I just signed for AGF House. I was skinny when I played for them. When I signed up for them, I think I weighed around like 55 kilograms.
Oh wow!
I was really skinny, and then, like, when I got there, most of the 18-year-olds in Denmark, they weigh like 90 kilograms. I remember when I landed, they said, this guy, how is he going to come and save our team? Look at how skinny he is. Yeah. And I remember the first game when I played, I scored a goal, and I created the goal, I assisted the goal. And we won a game and I saved the team to not get relegated in that season. The people then started noticing, like, oh.
And respecting
you. know, I understood that because, like, you know, that's the game. The game, it's all about you, what you do on the field. You do your talking on the field. And I did that. I shut a lot of people up. And now they started to recognize and be like, oh, surely this guy's got something for us.
Yeah.
The last one was when we played against, that was the last game. We had to win that game to survive the relegation.
Yeah.
I got a call up. South Africa was playing against England. And I had to choose if between the national team and playing for the team. I got a call up on Thursday. Yeah, we play on Saturday.
Yeah.
Clearly, like, you know, somebody maybe that they called up never showed up. No, I was a last minute thing for them to say, okay, that's Josta. And I had to choose rejecting the national team call up and helping the team to survive the relegation. And I chose the team. And I scored a goal, the winning goal in that game as well. Wow. But I mean, I missed playing against Beckham, Michael Owen, that were still playing in the national team for England. I was never called up after that because of that. But, you know,
they were like, no, you didn't come last time, so it's okay.
Yeah, you know, they take it personal and whatever. Those are the type of decisions that you make as a sports person and as a human being as well. I regret sometimes to be like, maybe if I came, I could have had like more call-ups. I could have had more games in the game for the national team. But, you know, now I've left a mark in the Danish society. People are still like asking about me for what I did for the team. I'll never like forget those moments.
Let's talk about grooming, right? Yes. You seem like a well-groomed gent. Off camera, one of the camera guys was asking, like, you still look like you're in good shape, even though you've stopped playing a couple of years ago. Do you have a personal grooming routine, and what does that look like?
My life is a routine. And for me, gym has always been part of my life, and it's kept me alive. I'm alive today because of gym. It helps me with the stress. Once I stopped playing, I never stopped going to gym.
Was it hard? Because now you didn't have to. When you were playing, you had to.
I didn't have to when I was playing. It was a choice that I made for me to be better. The first thing that I had to do is compete with myself first. And I had to compete with my teammates that I wanted to play in the position that I played in. So if I was always ready for whatever that was thrown at me, you know, nothing could ever beat me. So the confidence was so high because I knew that I was punishing myself so much during the week. By the time the weekend comes, I don't care who you are, but you're just standing on my way. So that's the attitude that I had in the game. Because it was a lifestyle, you know, it never stopped. Nobody forced me to do that. Differently with a lot of guys, they do it because they are forced to do it because they're getting paid for it. Oh, now we're going to gym. Now why are we doing this? I'm going to be slow. I'm going to get too big and all of that. The more you gym, the less injuries you get.
And let's talk about life after your soccer career. What has that been like? And what have you been doing that you've always maybe wanted to do because you never had time?
To be honest with you, like I didn't stop like at the time that I wanted to stop at. Like I think I was forced to stop. That's the thing about like the game in South Africa. Like, you know, once you get to a certain age, they kind of like close those channels for us. I'm yet to see a player that says, you know what, I'm done. I've played enough. And the team is honoring him properly and be like, he's been like, you know, a key player for this team. We love the job that he has done. In Europe, we see that a lot of times.
Definitely.
Most of us are being forced because somebody wants to prove a point. Hence, the game is where it is now because most of the foundation that has been there has been taken out. We're not going to be in the game for a long time. We know that. But, you know, you have to do it the right way. If there's youngsters coming in, they can learn from us that have been in the game forever. By the time I move out, this boy has learned so much from us. When it happened, I had to, like, you know, accept it. I had to adjust now because my life was just set. There was this big wall. So it was just football all the time. Training, play, camp, training, play, sleep. That's it. Hardly partied.
And now?
You know, I still can't do it because, like, you know, I grew up, like, in a family where they never used to let me go anywhere.
What are you dedicating yourself to currently?
I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. You know, there's just a lot of things that I've been trying out. I went into like the funeral business because my in-laws were doing that. So I started learning how to do like engraving and just doing tombstones. I can put in tombstones for people out there. I do TV as well. Do analysis on Supersport. Those are the things that I'm doing, but I'm still trying to figure out what works. Once you leave sports, there's a lot of depression that's gonna hit you. Depression, there was stress, there was all of that because I'm used to being in a room where there's like 20 guys every morning. Training out 20 guys.
Deal with that, the depression? Did you counseling? What did you do to get to a better space?
I used to like think that, you know, women like were always crazy when they said, I'm depressed. What the hell is depression? Up until it hits you, I told my mom how I was feeling. And she was like, that's depression. You're depressed. Like, oh, so this is what depression is. But I went to the doctor and it was confirmed. Obviously, that's why I was diagnosed with that. So for 2 years, I was just dropping off the kids at school, come back home, sleep, wake up around 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock, I pick up the kids, come back. So, because I didn't know what to do with myself, not knowing that I was depressed.
Do you feel, though, that there's a need for, when you finish, you almost need to have a bridge where there are people there who tell you how to adjust from this world you're coming from?
That's true, because like I think rugby is being managed better. Not forgetting families is important when it comes to obviously the transition of you leaving soccer and now doing other things.
Yes.
The family is really important because they need to be there helping you, obviously to transit into that. Also SAFA or PSL, it is really true. There are going to be a lot of guys that are going to be broke. There are going to be a lot of guys that are going to divorce immediately after their football career, because once the money is done, because most of their women, they don't see them that important no more.
I get you.
It is true. So probably 80% of the guys that used to play football, after 2 years, they leave football, they divorce. And these are the things that needs to be talked about while the boys are still playing at their young age. Understanding what happens. Friends that we hang around with, because most of the friends, they disappear once you don't have money.
Once you don't have money anymore.
You know what I mean?
Once you can't buy this for me, I'm just like, bye.
So there's just a whole lot of work that as the football community has to really sit down and like talk to people that have been in the game and ask them those questions, and they can help them.
Your top 5 favorite players in Africa right now?
South Africa, Zwane that plays for Sundowns for me, like a top player. He's a key player for Sundowns. Shalulile, I mean, the last 2-3 seasons since he changed from Highlands Park and he went to Sundowns, he's just been a machine for them. You got Andy Lejali as well. Because I mean, he's just been in the game for so long, and there's a lot of people that are competing for his position. But he keeps on, like, you know, saying, hey, I want to be in that first team. I like that they're still keeping him as a center guy, as the spine of the team. In Africa, the Egyptian who plays for Liverpool, Salah. Salah is really doing well for Liverpool. And you've got this guy that went to Bayern Munich as well, that used to play for Liverpool.
Mane. Yes.
Come on, you know, he's from Senegal.
Senegal, yes.
By the way, that's a team that everybody must look out for in the World Cup. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. So yeah, those are the players for me. Yeah.
What do you enjoy doing outside of the work that you're doing right now? If we were to pull up to your house on a regular chilled day, what would we find you doing?
I just love golf. I love PlayStation. You know? I watch a lot of movies. I do gym. I've always been a boring person in life, and those are the type of things that I do.
Do you think that's boring though, or just maybe a different type of person? Because I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't necessarily like clubbing a lot. I do drink from time to time, but I get what you're saying. Where sometimes you just have a lane, a routine that you enjoy, that you're at peace with. You don't feel like you're missing out on anything. When people are thinking, oh, but you should have been here. Like, actually, I'm cool.
Wherever there's a lot of people, too many people, I just like get, like, you know, a whole lot of anxiety. And people be like, but you used to play in a filled-up stadium. I used to zone off. You know, it used to be like, you know, there was not even fans. It was just me, the ball, and the opponent. Only when you score a goal, it's like, oh, now the fans are here. That's a total different space when you're playing in the stadium. But when I go to clubs now,
it's different.
It's different for me.
It's bit to bit. Yeah. So who would you say inspires you?
The people that we look up to, they're actually around us.
I agree.
And I realize that,
I really agree.
The way I am today, there's a lot of things that I actually got from my pops.
Love that. I really do. I totally do. I'm with you.
I'm like, really, like, you know, this is the guy that I should be looking up to. My mom, like, you know, always been there, always been a housewife, like, you know, took care of us, you know, bend over backwards for most of us. My grandmother, I mean, she works like, you know, for some Jewish family for years. You know, she like raised their kids and everything. With the little cent that she had, she used to give us everything that we have today. Why
I like that is because I always say that these are people you actually know. Your parents, your uncles, your grandmother, your grandfather, they're people you actually know, and you've had engagement with them. But I guess society somehow has made it cooler for me to think Barack Obama is cooler than my dad. You know what I mean? You know that Barack Obama is not inspirational, but he's cooler than my dad because of that popularity, because of... So I actually like that you said that. I mean, I think you're the first person who's ever said it the way that I think it.
How many of us do we actually go back and be like, yo, ma, you know, thank you for everything that we did. And we should actually do it while they're still alive. Most of us, we don't even tell those people what they've done in our lives while they're still alive. Don't wait for tomorrow, but just tell them today. And
lastly, your personal style. What's your style when it comes to clothing?
It's not LVs and all those type of things. I can't afford the LV bags and all that.
But there you go with the LV shoes, though.
The shoes, it's all good, but the bags are too expensive. Right? I grew up not having a lot of things. And I remember like signing for Vets when I first joined the first team. There was a player called Stanton Frederick. Went up to the changing room. This guy used to smell so good, like every time, you know, smell nice, always wearing Timberlands, looking good. I used to love Timberlands because I love hip hop. And this guy back in the days, 98, 99, used to have like, you know, Cortez, Nike Cortez, and like, you know, Timberlands, rocked up all those things. And when I got a chance to buy for myself, the first thing that I did, I think my first salary I just messed it up in like clothes.
And Timberlands.
Timberlands, N1 back in the days, like, you know, those N1 that just came through. I wanted to get the things that I never got. So once I was able to get them for myself, I did that. I never had a lot of things. So once I have stuff, for me, they're so important to look after them. If I have a car, never had a car, why shouldn't I look after this car? Because I understand how it is not having. So that's why everything that I have for me is so important, because I know losing them, I don't want to go back to where I come from. So I always want to be comfortable in life. A simple life. So the financial stability in life for me is key. You know what I mean? And in terms of looking good and the image as like a public figure for me, I think if I look good, I feel good about myself. And there's a lot of people that look up to me. And obviously I have to carry myself in a certain way. I'm not a normal person. So for me, the style, it doesn't really matter. I can wear like, you know, shorts right now. I can rock up in tracksuits, but you know, I can still look fresh even if I'm coming up in my Adidas tracksuit. It don't really matter. If I rock up in a suit, you have to understand that JD is there as well. I rocked up in a suit, but it's not about people out there, but it's about me just feeling good about myself.
You said you're a hip hop lover. 5 of your top hip hop songs.
Yo, now
literally 5, the classics. Your top 5.
Song Cry, Jay-Z, number 1. Tupac, Dear Mama. Jedi Mind Tricks. Jedi Mind Tricks is another group. It's an underground group, and I think Fonte as well.
Oh wow, Fonte. Wow.
Fonte, like, you know, I listen to Fonte, a whole lot of Fonte. A bit of Busy Signal. Busy Signal, that's dancehall, reggae. So I'm diverse. It depends on the mood. So if like the whole week I've been listening to like, you know, dancehall. So next week I can be listening to like Babyface. I'll be listening to like, you know, it really depends on.
And the week after I'm a piano.
Yeah, I'm a piano. You know, you got book comes that are small. The Yanos, man, you can't go wrong with the Yanos. You know, I can't dance though. You know? Is it? So I can only move my head and whatever, this and that.
I think I can dance, but I don't think I can. But the people who are watching probably don't think that.
So like, so the Yanos, man, there's a few things that I'll be listening to. So, but for me, I'm just diverse when it comes to music.
Josta, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, my brother. Cool. And that's it. The conversation with the man of soca here on The Man Conversations, brought to you by SorbetMan and GQ. Thank you so much for joining us.